So I've had some requests for a video tutorial on some basic finger picking concepts and techniques. So I thought I'd do a little bit of that for you today. We'll deal mostly today with the picking hand. If you're right-handed, that's your right hand, not the fretting hand. So I have grown my nails out somewhat. So I have a little bit of nail at the end that is a little bit longer than my fingertip. So if you don't have your nails grown out and you don't want to grow your nails out, you can either just you can just finger pick with just the flesh, and that's fine. It's just a mellower sound, and that's fine. There's some I used to do that. And then, but if you want a brighter sound, you want either your fingernails or you want to invest in some finger picks. All right. So, but what I do is I always want to. For me, I like to play with these three fingers: my thumb, my index, and my middle. And not always, but for the most part, the middle finger of my technique plays the bass string. The index plays the middle string, and the treble string is on the thumb. And when I play, I like to brush the string, the top of the string. See how I kind of anchor a little bit with my ring and sometimes my pinky? So I'm brushing the top of the string and then finishing it up with a little bit of my fingernail. I'm not picking the string up. I'm not doing that. I'm brushing it. So the brushing is mostly instigated by the fleshy part of my finger, and it's finished up with the fingernail. And I tend to, I do the bulk of my playing at this little sweet spot right at the end of the well, the picking well here, before the fretboard starts. It's a little bit more mellow than if I'm playing up in here. It's actually a lot mellower. See here how it mellows out the closer to the fretboard I get. If I want it really mellow, I'll actually pick onto the fretboard itself. That really mellows things out. The closer to the headstock you get, the mellower the tone. But when you have either finger picks or fingernails, that you run the danger of clicking against the fretboard. So when you are picking up and playing over the fretboard itself, you got to be very careful to just brush the strings and not let them, so that you've got that nice mellow sound. But this is a nice little sweet spot right here at the end of the well that I can use for a lot of my playing. So that. All right, so when you get a piece of tab, or when you tab out something, oftentimes what you'll have is the melody and the chord, and the picking pattern won't be written out. Occasionally it will be, especially if it's been arranged for more than one dulcimer and they have a specific way that they want the picking patterns to overlap with one another. But so this Blow the Candles Out, this old traditional English folk song, I'm pretty sure it's English, and I believe Randy Wilkinson is the one who actually arranged this for dulcimer. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I don't have a byline on this. I don't have a name on this. But if it's just the melody and chord, it's just... which is fine. Sometimes there's, some of the Renaissance pieces and stuff. I like it without any fill. But for the most part, especially for a lot of the more the ballads and a lot of the Celtic stuff, I like some nice fill in there. So what you want to do is find some picking patterns. One of the common picking patterns is this little pinch pattern here. I pinch the bass and the treble string together, and then fill with the middle, and then fill again with the treble and the middle. So it's so if I just use that one pattern on that song, you can hear it. It gives some more dimension to it. Like that. Some other picking patterns are just are similar, but you just keep your treble every other beat. Another one that's commonly used is this. Treble, middle, bass, middle, treble, middle, bass, middle. That's a very common pattern. Sometimes you want to arpeggiate the whole song, so it's more of you don't have the any kind of harmonic interval being struck, and you'll do something like that, or that kind of thing, or just even real basic. So those are all melodic intervals. There's no harmonic intervals, meaning two notes are being struck at the same time. So those are I'm starting off with a harmonic interval. So all those different picking patterns, usually what I've noticed is rather than trying to keep force a particular picking pattern onto a piece of music, the melody and the chord structure of the pattern will dictate for me. So, for instance, that same Blow the Candles Out. So what I'm doing there is I'm incorporating some of these brushes. So what I just showed you the brush from the bass string to the treble, and you're just brushing the tip of your finger and a little bit of your nail to get that. You can also brush from the treble down to the bass. So let's see this B section. You can use a little bit of a brush backwards that way. You can use your thumb too if you want more flesh and less nail. So there you have some ideas. So if I was going to take this I'm just breaking up the chord by arpeggiating it. And adding some brushes. Some pull-offs, some slides, hammer-ons, So those are some ideas. So I'm just anchoring my I'm just anchoring my ring, sometimes my pinky, against the base of my fretboard here, and I'm picking either right at the end of the fretboard or just above the fretboard. Occasionally, if I want some twang, I'll go back in the deeper into the well. I'm brushing the strings, not plucking them so much. I'm brushing the strings with the tips of my fingers and finishing it up with a little bit of the nail or the pick if you're using a finger pick. And I'm just adding fill according to where the texture of the song is asking for it, basically. So one way that I can find those fills is to practice, like I said, different picking patterns, so that my fingers kind of get used to them. And then adding some strums, some brushes, either from the bass up or from the treble down, or a little, if I wanted a little more of a guitar strum, that kind of a thing I can use too. And then also, obviously, just like with any kind of dulcimer, incorporating some slides, some hammer-ons, and some pull-offs to get some interest and some texture and some line into the melody of whatever I'm playing. So hopefully that was a little bit helpful, and it'll get you on your way, get you started with some finger picking. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or drop me a personal message on Friends of the Mountain Dulcimer, and I will be happy to answer your questions. And if you have anything that you'd like for me to discuss in one of these videos, just let me know, and I'd be happy to incorporate them the next time I do one. Thank you so much for listening and watching.